Hi guys, welcome back. So here's a video of a watch that you're looking at right now and you're probably thinking, what the heck, that is a fashion watch. So watch snobs aren't going to like this, but bear with me. This is why I bought this watch. So let's look a little bit closer. It's quite a big watch. So here we have an Emporio Armani quartz watch, which I purchased off eBay about a week ago for £10. So it's actually a vintage Armani, and they've been making these for quite a long time now. If you go onto eBay and you're just looking at watches in general, you're going to see quite a few of these Armani watches come up. Some of the more modern ones are the Armani X, I believe. These old ones are the Emporio Armani ones. I don't know that much about them, but about 15 years ago, I got one for my birthday. So this is before I kind of really got into watches. Like a lot of people in the UK, you want a watch, you might just put Argos up on your computer, have a look at what watches they got. You're just looking for something, you know, within your budget, that type of thing. I didn't go to a jeweller's. I think I just bought it from Argos, and it was a stainless steel, kind of classic looking watch, very shiny. I didn't even want to wear it that much. I was always frightened of scratching it, so I kind of kept it for best. And eventually I gave it away quite recently. Now, this one came up on eBay, and I thought, you know, just forget that it's an Armani or anything like that. It was just interesting. I like the colour of the dial. You've got this kind of champagne coloured dial with like a waffle square in the middle, and you've got the small round seconds at the bottom. It's quite a big watch. Now the thing is with Emporio Armani, they're not really that bad quality. So although they're going to be scoffed at by obviously people really into watches, if you just want something that looks pretty classical, a lot of the watch designs they do aren't actually that bad. They do some quite nice looking watches. And I think that's why they've been so successful, especially in the UK. They're quite common. As I said, go on eBay, loads come up because they've been making them for, I don't know exactly, they've probably been making them for 20 years plus, perhaps. And so I got mine about 15 years ago, but I think they were making them a bit before then. And they're still making them. They're pretty popular. So this watch, brand new, would have probably been around the £100, maybe 120, something like that. So, you know, a lot of these Armani watches, you can pick them up from kind of 80, 100 plus, depending on the watch itself, the style. And I haven't looked at too many, but there's quite a few to choose from. A lot of them are this kind of classic tank style with the Roman numerals. Quite stylish in a way. This is pretty large. I didn't realise how large this was in the photo until I got it in my hands. To show you how large it is, I've got this is a vintage little Loris which I've just cleaned up and put a battery in. This one was part of an inheritance that came to me, and there was a bunch of kind of cheaper watches which I've just cleaned up and I've put batteries in and got them working again. So this would have been probably worn in the 1990s, and you can see the difference in size there. This thing's pretty massive compared to it. In fact, let's have a check out on my very old looking tape measure. Yeah, so we are 35mm across, and it's pretty much a square, isn't it? So yeah, it's 35mm square, and it's quite deep thickness as well. I think we're about 9mm on the thickness. And you've got Emporio Armani engraving or stamp, whatever you want to call it, on the side. And what impressed me about this, and I've given this a bit of a clean up, it was a bit glossy in the strap, and it's got a few little scratches. It's obviously been worn, but it's working. I haven't had to put a battery in it. Is the leather itself on the strap is really nice. It's a genuine leather strap, and it's really lovely. It's got a softness to it. It's pretty good quality, I would say. So, I mean, Armani being a fashion manufacturer, perhaps they managed to get hold of decent leather. I don't know. But yeah, there's some decent leather. I mean, the £10, you'd have quite happily have spent that on that strap alone to get a decent quality leather strap. So the watch is almost free. You've got the Armani logo eagle there. And it's actually water resistance as well. So if you turn it round, I haven't had the back off to look at the quartz movement. I'm just reading the rest. We've got solid stainless steel via 50 meters, 5 atmospheres. I think it's a Japanese movement in these. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to check up on that. So I haven't looked at the movement. You know, I'm not overly fussed what it is. It's obviously quite a few years old. It's working well. I didn't want to kind of risk scratching the back at the moment, although it's got a few scratches on it. Perhaps I will get that off to show us. Well, that has actually defeated me. I tried to get the back off. That is on super, super tight. So there is a slight tongue, I guess you'd call it, just about there, which looks like you can get a knife underneath it. I haven't got a case back knife, but I have got a very sharp kind of chef's knife, which I usually use. Usually pops them off no problem, but that one nearly cut my thumb open when I slipped. So I need to get a case back knife, or if the battery runs out, I'll have to just drop that down to my jeweller's. Hopefully they've got the correct tool to get that off. But usually I can pop these off. That was difficult. I mean, I had a bit of problem with that one, but it popped off. Yeah, so as I was saying, you can actually go swimming with this. Well, you can shower anyway. 50 meters, you should be able to go swimming with it. Not that I will do, because it'll just probably ruin the leather. So another thing I was thinking of doing on this, I'll put it on my wrist, show you what it looks like. I've got quite a small, medium-sized wrist, 6.5 inches. So it does look a bit big on me, but it's nice with that kind of Art Deco look. So a little idea before I put it on my wrist, which I was thinking of doing, maybe you could tell me in the comments what you think. I have done this before on another watch which I sold on, and it works quite well, is because the case has got a few scratches now, and it's this kind of shiny, polished, obviously, look to it. I've even got the little Armani on the crown there, just show you there. So some quite nice touches, you know, even though it is a fashion watch and obviously purists are going to absolutely hate it. I think they've been around long enough and they're popular enough to say, you know, they're not too bad. Out of all the fashion watches that come up, these ones, some of them aren't that bad looking, and especially as a second-hand deal for a few pounds. I mean, you can't go too far wrong. Something nice to wear with whatever outfit. Now, I was thinking of doing a brushed stainless steel look on this, and the way to achieve that is you use something like a Scotch pad, or in England called like a greenie, those scouring pads that you use to clean stainless steel pans, that type of thing. And what you do is with the scouring pad, using movements which are controlled like that, sweeping in one way, you create a brushed stainless steel. Well, I mean, you are actually creating an effect. You're kind of putting micro scratches into it. So you've got to be careful, do each surface. And it's not going to be that easy. When you come up to things like the crown, it's hard to get close up and then create the scratch, because I wouldn't want to scratch the crown itself. So I just want to create the brushed look on these surfaces here. So I'm going to think about that. I'm not in a rush to do it. If I do it, I might do a little video on it, see how it goes. I mean, it's only a £10 watch. It's not going to be the end of the world if I mess it up, and I'm sure it won't be messed up that much. The watch I did it on before, unfortunately I haven't got a photo of it, anything like that, but it came up, it was another square watch, and it was a Chinese thing I bought, and I just didn't like it. It was just too chromy, shiny looking, and I did this brushed effect on it, and it really looked good. I thought, wow, I looked on YouTube how to do it, followed their instructions, and yeah, it's pretty easy to do. You've just got to make sure you don't, you know, go backwards and forwards. You do it in like a stroke, so all the little micro scratches go the same direction, so you kind of get a grain of it. Yeah, I'll put it on the wrist and let's have a look. You've got the Armani eagle again on the buckle, as you can see there. Another nice little detail. Nice big chunky fat leather strap, really comfortable. I think pretty good quality to my layman's kind of eyes. And there you have it. As you can see, it's quite, I wouldn't say a monster of a watch, but it certainly takes up some real estate on your wrist. And it's quite a dressy watch, so what I'm sure with a suit, something like that is going to look great, or with a black long sleeve kind of Armani type top. That would go with it, with dark jeans, that type of thing. You know, it's not a scruffy look. You're going to have to be kind of smart casual or very smart with this watch. Yeah, I quite like it. I think maybe it's a little bit too large. If that was a touch smaller, I think I'd like it even more. But for my £10, I'm happy. I've got a watch which is, you know, reasonably good quality. I mean, you can see the Roman numerals are like erased. They're not printed on. They're proper little, I don't know what they're made out of. Let's say metal, but they're kind of stuck on, aren't they? Even the eagle is all like a 3D raised. The hands are nice and sharp looking. Yes, I don't know who's designing these watches, and they're obviously looking at Cartier, that type of thing. But some of their watches are a little bit more like Submariner style, chronograph style, and this is the more kind of, I would say, kind of 1920s, very stylish looking, that suits the Armani kind of brand. So there you go. So if you know, it's something to keep an eye out for. And I buy what I want. I don't care whether people think it's rubbish, it's fashion. I mean, for instance, I haven't got one, but I was looking at, I think it's the Hugo Boss watches. There's a couple of interesting ones that keep coming up. And I think, you know, I might get one of those if one comes up cheap enough. Because a lot of watch brands are fashion brands, really. I mean, Swatch really. I know it's a Swiss manufacturer, but it's kind of a fashion watch, isn't it? Most watches are something you wear for a look. So there you go. Anyway, I'm not sure if there are people out there who collect any fashion watches whatsoever. It's certainly going to upset a few people, but yeah, I'm not going to say I'm going to buy a load of Armani watches. I like that one. If another one came up that I really like the look of and it's cheap, why not? I might buy it. Are they going to go up in value? Probably not. Unless you get an odd one that people were after, they stopped making it, a bit like the Swatches, that type of thing. So there may be, I've got no clue, there may be the odd one that perhaps is worth a few more pounds, but it's basically just a bit of a bargain on eBay. You know, you're buying something that was over £100 probably new, and you can pick it up for a tenner. So, you know, that's a good deal, isn't it? As I said, it's probably worth that for the strap alone. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to see more watch related content. Check out my other videos. I've got lots of proper vintage old watches and some newer watches on there as well. Take care.